PEP scholars, welcome to another live PEP class. As we have been doing for the past couple weeks, we're going to be continuing with our abilities, the PEP ability test, and we're kind of veering away from our regular schedule, if only because the PEP ability test is coming up next week. And so on those days when we would normally be doing the performance task or the curriculum-based tests or even the critical thinking class, we have put those on hold just for a little while and focusing on the ability tests. So tonight we're going to do part 1 of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's PEP student workshop, student camp it was called. There was a student camp last year and 4 booklets were put together from that camp and distributed to students, teachers, and parents. And these booklets have been revised. So we went through all 4 booklets from 2021. And right now we're combing through the revised booklets for 2022. So we're at booklet 3 of 4. We're actually going back ways. So we did booklet 4 on Thursday and Friday. We're at booklet 3 now, and we'll do booklet 2 about Wednesday or so. Because tomorrow we'll do part 2. We're splitting booklet 3 into 2 parts. Before we dive into that, I want to play for you still the schedule of classes. Just so you know, so after the ability test, we're going to go right back to this schedule. Students, I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So, stay tuned. Hello, scholars. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand. All right. I want to say welcome to those in the chat, those joining us on YouTube, those joining us on Facebook, wherever in the universe you're joining us, whoever you are, earthling or alien, you are welcome and I would appreciate for you to post your answers, your questions, your comments in the chat. For those who want to join us in studio, I'm going to share the link now in the chat. Just remember there's limited space. There's limited space in the studio. Good night, Ashley. Adina, good night. Welcome. All right, so let me invite my in-studio scholars to join me on the screen. Scholars, please make sure your mics and your cameras are up to speed. Madison, you had a lot of candy today?
Yes, miss. And I still have more.
Oh, so I can get some. What kind of candy?
Miss, what I have left, I have chocolates left, but earlier today I had lollipops.
Okay, so hopefully I can get some. By the time I see you again, I don't know if you're going to finish.
Miss, I'll
Well,
get some more for you.
okay, thank you. Welcome, Jonathan and Madison and Jaden, Amari and John. Of course, we have scholars still waiting backstage.
Night, miss.
So, good night. As usual, we're going to switch at about halfway through. So we're going to do 15 questions tonight and 15 tomorrow. These are from Student Camp Booklet 3 for 2022. Booklet 3 for 21 was revised, and here it is. All right. Did I share my screen? I'm notorious.
It's not sharing
No,
us.
miss, you didn't.
Okay, I'm very notorious for thinking that I shared the screen when I didn't. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so let me make sure to share the screen. There we go. Okay. Are you seeing the screen? Okay, so
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Langot is saying Happy Valentine's Day, Miss. And you are so, thank you, Langot, and same to you. Hi, Melissa. Brian, welcome. Legend is also saying Happy Valentine's, Miss. Virtual hug. Thank you, Legend Day, and right back at you guys. Right back at you. I appreciate it. Today is indeed Valentine's Day. No, Student Camp 2022 Ability Assessment Booklet 4. And I don't know why the screen looks so blurry. It's not blurry when let me check something. Hold on, let me check out some. Yes, it look the same way. But you guys seen it properly?
No, it's also blurry for me when I saw it.
I was seeing it right.
Miss, I'm not seeing your screen anymore.
You're not seeing the screen. Hold on. Let me show you this screen here. And you tell me if it looks better to you. That one look better?
Still blurry for me, at least.
But does it look better?
Yes, Miss, it kind of does. Artificial language is a
Kind of
fun way to
better.
use a set of letters.
Kind of better.
Right.
I
So
can
the
read.
only thing with this the PowerPoint is I'm not able to use I'm not able to circle the answers, but I'll call them out for you. All right. Thank you, Ashley. Happy Valentine's Day. Ashley said she gave her teacher flowers today. That's nice. That's really awesome. 5 of your teachers, Ashley, got flowers. That's great. Yes, Cashmark, I do have the quality set to 1080p. I do. But it still gives it's I think it's just for these slides, the writing is so tiny, that's why. Ashley, you gave your teachers from grade 3 to 6. That's very nice. I'm sure your teachers felt appreciated. All right, so for the artificial language, it's a fun way to use a set of letters or an invented language to determine the meaning of other words in the language. So they make up a language and tell you the rules, or you have to figure out the rules. So, all right, Madison, you can read this one for me.
Okay, Miss Shaw. The words in bold come from a language spoken on a newly discovered planet.
Hold
Look
on,
at
hold
the
on, hold on,
meaning.
hold on, Madison. Um, oh, I'm doing the wrong booklet. I'm doing the wrong booklet. It should be
Yes, I thought when I was looking, I thought we already did this question.
yeah, we already did. So let me just find the correct one. All right, so this is it. Booklet 3, right? That's the one. And we're starting with verbal reasoning. That's section 1. So for the verbal reason, and this will be items 1 to 3. The item type verbal reasoning category classification, and the targeted skills is analyze, compare, and classify. All right, so question 1, Madison.
Question 1. Which does not belong in the group? A. Chicken. B. Eagle. C. Parrot. Or D. Penguin. Question 1. Which does not belong to the group? A. Chicken. B. Eagle. C. Parrot. Or D. Penguin. Miss, I say penguin because all the others can fly except the penguin.
Okay, that could be a classification. And remember, for the classification type, the items do have something in common. So what do these options have in common first?
They're all birds. They're all birds.
Okay, so they're all birds. All right, so Madison is saying even though they're all birds, she's saying penguin is different because the first 3 can fly. Even though the chicken don't really fly that high, it can only
Miss, it
stay
can
up
still
for a
fly.
limited time. Yeah, it can fly, it
Miss,
stays up for a
there
limited
are
time.
chickens that can fly. There are chickens that can fly.
No, they can fly. I'm not saying they can't, but they can't stay in the air for very long and they can't go very high. All right, is there any other difference that anyone can pick out about these 4
Miss,
birds?
penguins are the only one that live in a penguins are the only one that live in a like polar climate.
Okay, right. So penguin is correct, Madison. Jaden is also saying that the penguins are the only ones that live in the polar region. So that's another thing we could say that makes the penguin stand out. Okay. All right. So that's correct. D is correct. And let's see who said D. Melissa said F. Melissa, there's no F. There was no F. All right, so Cashmark said D. Ashley said A. Lang got D. Then Ashley changed her mind and said, "Oh no, she still was saying." You're saying penguin, Ashley, but it's not A. It's D. Melissa D. Let me see. All right. Oh, so Jerry's saying the parrot because parrots can talk, and we'd put that talk in quotation marks, right, Jer? Because they really just
But
mimic.
parrots, they only repeat and
Yeah,
they
they
don't
just
repeat
mimic
anything.
and repeat what they are told. They don't understand. They can't really have a conversation. All right, so right, they mock. Somebody's saying they don't talk, which is really what I'm saying too, and Jaden as well. They don't really talk. They just imitate. All right, so let's go on. Yes, Ashley, I realized you made a mistake. You meant D. All right. John, question
Okay.
2.
Okay, miss. Question 2. Which is the odd one out? Question 2. Which is the odd one out? A skin, B kidney, C lung, D heart. A skin, B kidney, C lung, D heart. Miss, I would say A skin. Miss, because all the rest, miss, they're involved with the body, miss, and the skin is outside of the body.
All
Miss,
right.
alright, miss.
Can you read the little bubble for me, John? The conversation bubble.
Try to find what is similar about options. What groups could they be placed in? Choose the option that is different from the others. Try to find what is similar about the options. What groups could they be placed in? Choose the option that is different from the others.
Your voice was coming in and out, John. Read it again.
Okay, miss. Try to find what is similar about the options. What groups could they be placed in? Choose the option that is different from the others. Try to find
All
what
right.
is
So,
similar.
so first, tell me, John, what's similar about all of them?
Miss, what similar is miss is that they're part of the body.
Okay. So they're organs of the body. All right.
Yes.
And you're saying which one is different?
Miss the skin.
Because
Miss, cause the kidney, lung, and heart, miss, they're inside of the body, miss, while the skin is on the outside, miss.
okay. All right. Let me hear what others have to say. All right. So in the chat, they're still talking about parrots. Madison says she had a parrot and everything he heard, he repeated. Yeah, they tend to just repeat. And Jerry's saying he has a budgie. He has a budgie. So in the chat now, let's see. Gaming TV is asking which grade is this? Well, we have a mixture of grades 4, 5, and 6, but mainly grade 6. All right, so Melissa is saying skin also, langots, all the rest are inside the body while the skin is not. Ashley is also saying the skin because the skin is not inside of your body while all of the other organs are located in the body. If not, then I don't know. All right, but you are correct. Randane and Cashmark also saying the skin. All right. Amari, question 3.
Okay, miss. Question 3. Which of the following does not belong in this group? Question 3. Which of the following does not belong in this group? A. Burning. B. Evaporating. C. Freezing. D. Melting. A. Burning. B. Evaporating. C. Freezing. Or D. Melting. Miss, I would say A. Burning.
What do they all have in common? first of all? What's similar about them? Can anyone explain what's similar? Madison?
All of them are changes
Mister.
in something's physical appearance.
All of them are what?
A form of a way of changing something physical appearance.
Oh,
Deduction.
all of them are processes. Okay, so there
Are
are
change
processes
are
or changes. All right. Jaden, you want to add something?
Miss.
Or that's sufficient? You're saying the same as Madison?
Yes, miss.
All right. So back to you, Amari. Why did you say burning was different?
Miss, water can evaporate,
All right.
it
So
can freeze,
Madison's.
and it can also melt, miss.
But what does water have to do with why you just grab water from out of thin air and tell me about water?
Miss,
I'm
may I give
asking
my
why you
reasoning?
chose. Hold on, Madison. I'm asking why you chose burning as the one
Miss,
that's
because
different.
water is liquid.
All right. So you're saying water can go through the other changes, but it can't burn.
Yes, miss.
That's a weird way of putting things. All right. Let me hear what you're saying, Madison.
Miss, evaporating, freezing, and melting are all reversible changes except for burning. You can't unburn something. If you burn it, it's going to stay burnt.
All right. So Madison is saying the other processes, the evaporation, freezing, melting, they are reversible, meaning you can do the opposite of them and get back the original thing. So you can freeze something and melt it and you get back the original thing. Or it can evaporate and then condense and you get back the original thing once you have something to collect it, right? So they are not permanent changes, they are temporary changes. Whereas the burning is irreversible. Once you have burnt the thing, you cannot restore it to the original quality that it started with. All right. Ashley said freezing, but she's not telling me why. Langot is saying there are all states of matter. Well, these are not the states of matter. These are processes that the states of matter can go through, right, Langot? The states of matter would be solid, liquid, or gas. Cashmark said um, all about water, but burning is the fire. Um, Cashmark and Amari are making assumptions. Remember, water is not the only thing that can evaporate or freeze or melt. Right? So you're making assumptions there. Ashley says freezing is the only thing that's cold. So is melting, what about melting? Is that hot necessarily? It's just a change of state. And some things are warmer when they're melting. Some things have a, so it depends on the material that the thing is made from. You can't just say some of these processes are necessarily hot or cold. You have some chemicals that freeze at different temperatures from others, freeze at very low temperature, freeze at higher temperature compared to other chemicals, other elements. All the others are not solid. Remember, these are processes, these are not states. These are processes that the states of matter go through. And some states of matter are very unique in that they have a very high freezing or melting point or very low freezing or melting point. So we can't just make these general statements. All right, so let's go on. And Jaden, I'm going to ask you to read this one. Well, no, let me read this one first. Items 4 and 5 will be verbal reasoning. And the category is reading. Targeted skills make determinations and inferences. So, based on the information that we're given, we can analyze it and come to conclusions, make inferences. All right, go ahead now, Jaden.
Reading passages, growing vegetable. Reading passage, growing vegetables. Tomatoes and peppers can be planted year-long once sufficient moisture is available. The best method for planting these vegetables is by transplanting seedlings that were planted in seed trays or boxes. Tomatoes need lots of sun, rich, loose soil, and lots of water. The roots, not the leaves, must be watered. Tomato, tomato plants grow very tall, so they need to be tied to a pole or be staked. Use the information to answer the questions below. Reading passage, growing vegetables. Tomatoes and peppers can be planted year-long once sufficient moisture is available. The best methods for planting these vegetables is by transplanting seedlings that were planted in trays or boxes. Tomatoes need lots of sun, rich, loose soil, and lots of water. The roots, not the leaves, must be watered. Tomato plants grow very tall, so they need to be tied or to a pole or be staked. Use the information to answer the question below.
All right, Jonathan, question 4.
Which statement gives the best conditions for growing tomatoes? Which statement gives the best conditions for growing tomatoes? A. Tomatoes are planted by transplanting seedlings. B. Tomatoes can be planted all year long. Tomatoes are very tall and need to be tied. Tomatoes need lots of sun and water. Which statement gives the best conditions for growing tomatoes? A. Tomatoes are planted by transplanting seeds. B. Tomatoes can be planted all year long. C. Tomatoes grow very tall and need to be tied. D. Tomatoes need lots of sun and water. Read carefully to obtain details. Miss, my answer is D.
All right, why do you say D? And what does D
Miss
say?
A says
Say,
tomatoes need lots of sun and water.
all right, why did you choose D?
Miss, because A. Tomatoes are planted by transplanting seedlings is not a condition. It's not the best condition to grow it.
Mm-hmm.
B says tomatoes
Mm-hmm.
can be planted all year long, which there's no condition given to how it should be planted or can be planted. C. Tomatoes grow very
Mm-hmm.
tall and be tied. That is not a condition, it is how it will grow and how to take care of it. D says
Mm-hmm.
tomatoes need lots of water and sunlight and probably rain or you'd water to self condition.
That's correct. Okay, well said, Jonathan. Back to you, Madison. Question 5.
Question 5. A farmer uses a sprinkler system that sprays water high into the air to water his tomatoes. Which statement likely explains why the farmer should stop this practice? A. Tomatoes need rich, loose soil. B. Only the leaves must be watered. C. Only the roots must be watered. Or D. Tomatoes need to be tied to a pole. Question 5. A farmer uses a sprinkler system that sprays water high into the air to water his tomatoes. Which statement likely explains why the farmer should stop this practice? A. Tomatoes need rich, loose soil. B. Only the leaves must be watered. C. Only the roots must be watered. Or D. Tomatoes need to be tied to a pole. Miss, I'd say C. Only the roots must be watered.
All right, so why would that be an issue with the sprinkler?
Since the sprinkler sprays high into the air, that means most of the water would probably be going onto the leaves, which don't necessarily need to be watered. So
Okay.
most of the water should be going to the roots.
All right, and it does say that in the passage, the roots, not the leaves, must be watered. So with the sprinkler system, the leaves would get a good amount of water. That's correct. Items 6 and 7, and the item type verbal reasoning, category logical deductions, targeted skills, analyze and draw conclusions. John, please read the bubble first and then the rest of and then the question.
Okay, miss. Start by eliminating the statements that are way out. Look closely at the statements that remain. Choose the best ones that fit the information given. Start by eliminating the statements that are way out. Look closely at the statements that remain. Choose the best one. Choose the best ones that fit the information given. Question 6. All matter takes up space and has mass. All solids, liquids, and gases are matter. Therefore, all gases gas. Question 6. All matter takes up space and has mass. All solids, liquids, and gases are matter. Therefore, all gases gas. A cannot be seen and has mass. C can be seen and takes up space. D has no mass and takes up space. A can be seen and has mass. C can be seen and takes up space. D has no mass and takes up space. Miss, I would say B has mass and takes up space.
All right,
Miss,
that
because
is
it
correct.
says in,
Go
okay,
ahead, John.
yes. Miss, because in the first part of the question, Miss, it says all matter takes up space and has mass.
All right, that's correct. All right, so it states that, so we just need to go to the whether it's a paragraph or just a few sentences, we need to go back to the source and look at the information. And it states that explicitly all matter takes up space and has mass. All right, Amari, question 7.
Okay, Miss. Question 7. Find the two statements below that together prove that 7 attend science club. 1. Stephen's school has chess and science clubs. 2. Shana has science club with Jake. 3. Stephen's friend Jake attends chess and science club. 4. Stephen 4. Stephen and Jake are in the same clubs. 5. Jake's sister Shana attends chess club with Stephen. Oh, yeah. Find the two statements below that together prove that Stephen attends science club. 1. Stephen's school has chess and science clubs. 2. Shana has science club with Jake. Stephen's friend Jake attends chess and science club. 4. Stephen and Jake are in the same clubs. 5. Jake's sister Shana attends chess club with Stephen. A. 1 and 2. B. 1 and 5. C. 2 and 3. D. 3 and 4. A 1 and 2, B 1 and 5, C 2 and 3, D 3 and 4. Miss, my answer is D 3 and 4, Miss. Stephen's
All right, and why do you say that?
Miss
Mm.
Miss this Miss
Go ahead. Go
because
ahead.
it says that Stephen's friend Jake attends chess and science club, Miss, and it also says that Stephen and Jake are in the same clubs.
All right.
So, Miss, if they're
Yes,
in
and
the
that
same
is
clubs, he would attend science clubs too. Miss, can I
correct.
please use the
All right.
bathroom?
Yes, Amari, and I'm actually going to ask you to wait backstage because it's halfway. Well, we're past halfway, and I'm going to welcome some of the other scholars. Um, for those in the chat who are saying that they're not seeing the print, I'm sorry about that. But the good thing is we're also reading it to you so you can hear what's going on, and then it will help you to better make out what's on the screen. I wanted to use the original document from the student camp booklets, and that is why the print looks so small. But we're reading it for you, so you can understand what's happening. All right, Jada. This is not that these questions will come on the exam. These are the types of questions that will come. And that's the reason why the ministry issued these booklets so we can know the different types of questions. Not that these are the exact questions that will come. Please understand that. So it will expose you to the different types of questions you're likely to see on the PEP ability test. All right, so for this question, Madison and Jaden had also said 3 and 4. And Lejeune Day is saying that didn't we already do this? So Lejeune Day, you're probably a bit late, but we had said that these booklets were revised. So they were printed last year and distributed. They have been revised for 2022. So you're likely to see some of the same questions, but there will indeed be different items as well. So for those who had gone through the booklets with us the other day when we were going through from booklets 1 to 4, use it when you encounter the questions that you've seen already. Use it as revision. Test yourself to see if you remember the answers. For those that you didn't get last time, hopefully you know it now. And then challenge yourself with the new items that we are encountering. All right, so let me see who is waiting backstage. All right, so I have 3 persons waiting backstage. So I'm going to ask John Amari, going to ask Madison, and I'm going to ask Jonathan to wait backstage. If any of the other scholars who are coming on, if there's an issue with their device, or if they have to leave early or whatever, you can always come back. We wish that we could have everyone on the screen, but there's a limit to that, right? But just stay backstage. You can still post your answers and your comments in the chat, and I'll read them
Hi,
for.
Miss.
Hi, Lejeune Day. Hi, Elijah. Hi, Jer. We would love to see your faces. Why you wanna be incognito?
I
Because you
don't
wanna
know.
show your lovely faces. So let's continue. We're at item 7, and I'm going to ask the very beautiful and confident Lejeune Day to read it,
Miss is. I feel like every time you add me, I'm the first one to read, and that's what I like.
because you have a very loud and beautiful voice. So let me introduce the item. So item 8, and the item type is verbal reasoning, category logical deductions, and the targeted skills to analyze and to draw conclusions. All right, madam, take it away. Question 8.
Question 8. A class investigated the growth of plants under different environmental conditions. The results were placed in the table below. Group 1, 2, 3. Amount of light. Group 1, plenty light. Amount of water. Group 1, little water. After 2 weeks, the plants were small and brown. Group 2, amount of light, plenty. Amount of water, plenty. After 2 weeks, the plants were tall and green. Group 3, amount of light, little. Amount of water, plenty. After 2 weeks, plants were very tall and pale yellow. Question 8. A class investigated the growth of plants under environmental conditions. The results were placed in the table below. Group 1, amount of light, plenty. Amount of water, little. After 2 weeks, plants were small and brown. Group 2, amount of light, plenty. Amount of water, plenty. Plants were tall and green. Group 3, amount of light, little. Amount of water, plenty. After 2 weeks, plants were very tall and pale yellow.
Thank you, madam. Jaden, please read the bubble first and then the question.
Okay, miss. Analyze the results in the table. Which statement supports these results? Which statement is most likely true? A. Plants grow best with plenty of light. B. Plants grow best with plenty of light and water.
A little
C.
louder,
Plants
Jaden.
grow, C. Plants grow best with plenty of water. Or D. Water and light do not affect plant growth. Which statement is most likely true? A. Plants grow best with plenty of light. B. Plants grow best with plenty of light and water. C. Plants grow best with plenty of water. Or D. Water and light do not affect the plant growth. I say D. Plants grow best with plenty of light and water.
All right, so let's look back. Sorry. All right, so we're seeing where the light is plenty and the water is plenty, the plants were tall and green, right? So that's why Jaden is saying this statement is true. Plants grow best with plenty of light, plenty of water. When the light was plenty but not enough water, the plants were small and brown, so they were not thriving. And when the light was little and the water was plenty, even though they grew tall, they were pale yellow, so they still weren't thriving. So the optimum conditions, plenty of light, plenty of water. For item 9, which is a verbal reasoning question, category classification and logical deduction, targeted skills to analyze and classify. All right, Jer, please read question 9.
Okay, miss. Question 9. The diagram below shows a key that is used to identify beans. Question 9. The diagram below shows a key that is used to identify beans.
Read the diagram from top down.
Okay, beans, round, oval, garbanzo bean, not white northern bean, spotted, not spotted, pinto bean, black, red brown, black bean, kidney bean.
Again.
beans. Round,
Again.
oval. Garbanzo bean. Not white.
Oh, sorry. Let me read the options. Hold on. All right. So hold on. Let me see who should read this. All right, Elijah, can you read this question for me? Elijah.
Miss, probably their mic is not working.
Elijah, can you hear me? All right, guys, if your devices aren't working, I have to ask you to go backstage because we can't really hold up the class, right? Um, all right. Jaden, read that option, those options for me.
Okay, miss. Should I read the stuff in the bubble?
Right. Mhm.
Analyze the diagram. What characteristics can be identified? Which is the most suitable group? What is the best description of a pinto bean? A, oval and spotted. B, oval and not spotted. B, C, round and spotted. Or D, round and not spotted. What is the best description of a pinto bean? A, oval and spotted. B, oval and not spotted. C, round and spotted. Or D, round and not spotted.
All right. And what say you, Jaden?
Miss A, oval and spotted.
All right. So let's follow the chart.
A,
Asking us about the pinto bean. All right, so pinto is here, right? Pinto is here. So it's spotted and then it's not white and it's oval. So that's correct. Oval and spotted pinto bean. So that's correct, Jaden. Item 10 is the verbal reasoning, category, classification, logical deduction, targeted skills to analyze and classify. Legende, question 10.
Question 10. The diagram below shows a key used to identify penguin. Key. Does the penguin have tufts of feathers on its head? Yes. Is it shorter than 50 centimeters? Yes. Rockhopper penguin? No. Snares Island penguin? No. Does it have white markings on its face? No. Adelie penguin? Yes. Is it taller than 70 centimeters? Is it taller than 70 centimeters? Yes. Yellow-eyed penguin? No. Gal- gal- Galapagos penguin. Question 10. Stop. You don't have to leave me. Question
Okay.
10. The diagram below shows a key used to identify penguins. Key. Does the penguin have tufts of feathers on its head? Yes. Jamil Shna? Jeez. Does the penguin have tufts of feathers on its head? No. Does it have white markings on its face? Yes. Is it taller than 70 centimeters? Yes. Yellow-eyed penguin? No. Galapagos penguin? No. Adelie penguin? Yes. Is it shorter than 50 cent? Is it shorter than 50 centimeters? Yes. Rockhopper penguin? No. Snares Island penguin?
All right, so that's a similar item to the one before. And this is the penguin that is in question, 45 centimeters tall. It has white markings. So let us see. Jer,
Yes, miss.
Can you read that question, please?
The penguin in the diagram is best described as A slash an. The penguin in the diagram is best described as A slash an, a yellow-eyed penguin, B, rockhopper penguin, C, Galapagos penguin, D,
Galapagos.
Galapagos penguin, D, Adelie penguin, A, yellow-eyed penguin, B, rockhopper penguin, C, Galapagos penguin, D, Adelie penguin.
Whenever you see a bubble, please read the bubble first. Did you read the bubble, Jer?
No, miss.
All right, read it
Analyze,
twice.
analyze the diagram. What characteristics can be identified? Which is the most suitable group? Analyze the diagram. What characters can be identified? Which is the most suitable?
All right, so what do you say for this one, Jer?
Miss, could you go back to the previous slide?
Sure. So the question is the penguin in the diagram. This one, look at the features. It says 45 centimeters. It has white markings. Look at it and see which of these it would be.
Miss, is it the Galapagos penguin?
Hold on, I was waiting on Jer to give me his answer.
Yes, it's the Galapagos penguin.
And
Galapagos.
why do you say that, Jer?
Miss, it starts by asking if it has tufts or feathers on its head, and it doesn't, so you would go over no. Then it asks, does it have white markings on its face? You would say yes. Is it taller than 70 centimeter? No. So it would
Okay.
leave you to the Galapagos.
All right. And Jaden is correct. Let me see who else had
Yes,
said
I
Galapagos.
agree.
All right. So Jaden said Galapagos. Madison also said Galapagos penguin. Are you back with us, Madison? Not yet. All right. So going to welcome back Amari and John. All right. Amari, I'm going to ask you to read the next item after I introduce the item. So this is item 11, item type verbal reasoning, category logical deductions, targeted skills to analyze and to draw conclusions. So let's just look at the diagram. It shows some students on a seesaw, and we're going to use it to answer item 11. So this is Joe, this is Mary, this is Sam, this is Mary. All right, Amari, question 11.
Okay, miss. Question 11. Which statement does the diagram most likely support? Question.
Remember, Amari, whenever you see a bubble, I'd like you to read the bubble first.
Yes, miss, I was going to read the bubble. Which, so,
First.
okay, miss. Analyze the diagram. Analyze the diagram. Does the diagram support each statement? Analyze the diagram. Does the diagram support each statement? Which statement does the diagram most likely support? A. Joe is heavier than Mary. B. Mary is the heaviest. C. Sam is the lightest. D. Sam is heavier than Mary. A. Joe is heavier than Mary. B. Mary is the heaviest. C. Sam is the lightest. D. Sam is heavier than Mary.
So that's the diagram again.
Miss, that that means Mary is the heaviest. I don't know.
Why does it mean Mary is the heaviest?
Miss, because Mary is Miss when someone pushes down the the seesaw, Miss, they're usually the heaviest.
All right. So for the two other children, Mary's weight carries them. Mary's weight carries the seesaw
Them
down.
in the air, Miss.
Right. So Mary is heavier than each one of the other students. So Mary is the heaviest. Let's see if the others are supported. Is Joe heavier than Mary?
No, Miss. No, Miss. Mary is the heaviest.
Because Mary's weight carried down the seesaw with Joe and Sam as well. So we can rule out that Sam is heavier than Mary. Is Sam the lightest? Can we draw that conclusion
Yes,
that
Miss.
Sam
He's the
is the
lightest.
lightest?
Yes, Miss. Miss, because Joe was able to push down the seesaw a little bit, Miss, and Sam is way up in the air. Okay.
Joe was able to push down the seesaw more than
Miss, a
Sam.
little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit
Yes, Miss.
heavier. He's a little bit heavier. The
Yes,
I'm
Miss.
not
seesaw from Sam is Joe's. Yes, miss, there's a difference.
I'm not seeing that difference though.
Yes, Miss. There's a difference.
There, there is a difference. Joe is
Miss,
a
look
little is
very
more heavy
closely,
than
Miss.
Sam. It's a small difference, but Sam is
Hmm.
higher than Joe.
I'm seeing where they look the same to me. What you other scholars say?
Miss, the original looks similar, the same to me, but I
They
look
look the same
closely
to
and
me,
so
you know. I don't know if
we
we
can
can
also see.
conclusive. I don't know if we can conclusively say
Miss, you
that
can also see Joe, the picture, well, the figure of Joe is small, is bigger than the figure of Sam.
yeah. So I don't know if we can conclusively say that, but we definitely can say Mary is the heaviest. That's a definite thing, right? That's unanimous. We all agree on that one. All right. Legende. Sorry. Hold on. Item 12, verbal reasoning, category reading, targeted skills, make determinations, and inferences. All right, Legende, go ahead, please.
The paragraph below gives some facts about a type of turtle. The turtle eats grass and smaller animals. The colors on its shell allow it to blend in with the forest floor. The turtle moves slower than its predators, such as foxes. When the turtle senses dangers, it hides inside its hard shell. The paragraph below gives some facts about a type of turtle. The turtle eats grass and smaller animals. The colors on its shell allow it to blend in with the forest floor. The turtle moves slower than its predators, such as foxes. When the turtle senses danger, it hides inside its hard shell.
Okay, so let's see now. Jer, question 12.
What two reasons below
Read the
explain?
bubble.
Oh, read carefully to obtain details. Read carefully to obtain details. Question 12. Which two reasons below explain how the turtle protects itself from predators? Which two reasons below explains how the turtle protects itself from predators? Miss, the mouse is blocking the first quiz. Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
A. The turtle eats grass and small animals. B. The turtle hides inside its shell. C. The turtle moves slowly. D. The turtle's shell is colored. A. The turtle eats grass and small animals. B. The turtle hides inside its shell. C. The turtle moves slowly. D. The turtle shell is colored.
All right. What say you, Jer?
Miss, I say the turtle shell is covered and it hides inside its shell.
All right. Why do you say that?
Yes, because it says that when it goes in the shell, it's protected from the predators and it's
Mm-hmm.
colored, so it's also camouflaged with the environment.
All right, that's correct. Jonathan, can you hear me? Item 13, item type verbal reasoning, category logical deduction, targeted skills, analyze, draw conclusions. John, read this diagram for me, please.
Okay, miss. The diagram below shows four identical balloons filled with gas. Balloons are tied to ends of balancing scales using a light string. The diagram below shows four identical balloons filled with gases. The balloons are tied to the ends of balance scale using a light string.
All right, so study those diagrams for a while. So each of these is a balloon. 1, 2, 2, 3. So these two are the same balloons and they are tied to the ends of balance scales. So what do we know about a balance scale? If it is balanced, that means what? If it is balanced
Miss,
like
can
this,
you
where it's straight across, what does that indicate about the weights that it has?
Makes it has equal weight.
The
It has the same amount of
Miss,
gas.
the weights are the same both ways.
All right, so Jonathan, are you hearing me? Lejande, read question 13, please.
Question 13. Okay, missing popped up on my computer. Question 13. Which statement is true based on the diagram? A. Gas 1 has more mass than gas 3. B. Gas 1 has less mass than gas 2. C. Gas 2 has more mass than gas 3. D. Gas 3 is heavier than gas 1. A. Gas 1 has more mass than gas 3. B. Gas 1 has less mass than gas 2. C. Gas 2 has more mass than gas 3. D. Gas 3 is heavier than gas 1. Can you go back to the diagram, please?
Hold on.
Okay, miss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, miss, it would be D, miss?
What does D say?
D. Gas 3 is heavier than gas 1.
What makes you think so?
Miss, gas 1 and gas 2 is the same, but
Are the
gas
same.
are the same, but gas 3 is heavier than gas 2, and since gas 1 and gas 2 are the same weight, if, if 3 measures against gas 1 is going to go up in the air more since it's light, and gas 3 is going to go down more since it's heavier.
That is correct. So 1 and 2 are the same. So if 3 causes the balance to dip with 2, it will do the same with 1. All right, so you're correct, Lejande. Item 14, item type verbal reasoning, category logical deduction, targeted skills, to analyze and draw conclusions. Madison, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
A student did a scratch test on 4 different rocks to see which one was the hardest. 4 different objects were used to scratch each rock. The table shows the student's results. A student did a scratch test on 4 different rocks to see which one was the hardest. 4 different objects were used to scratch each rock. The table shows the student's results.
What were the 4 different rocks?
Marble.
Madison?
Miss, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Marble, sandstone, granite, and talc.
All right, so let's examine the table for a little while. So we have 4 types of rock: marble, sandstone, granite, talc, and each rock was scratched by the fingernail, a coin, matchstick, plastic knife. So the tick means they were scratched by these items, and the X mean the rock could not be scratched. So the marble, what could not be scratched by the fingernail or the matchstick or the plastic knife, only the coin. The sandstone could not be scratched by the fingernail or the matchstick, but could be scratched by the coin and the plastic knife. Granite could not be scratched by any of the items. Talc could be scratched by all of the items. All right, so John, question 14.
Okay, miss. Use the information given in the question. Make conclusions. Use the information given in the question. Make conclusions. Question 14. Which is the hardest rock? A. Marble. B. Granite. C. Sandstone. D. Tail. Question 14. Which is the hardest rock? A. Marble. B. Granite. C. Sandstone. D. Tail.
Talc.
Miss?
Talc.
Oh, tack. Oh, sorry, miss. Tack. Miss, the answer would be B. Granite.
Because
Miss, because in the table, miss, none of the fingernail, miss, the fingernail, the coin, the matchstick, or the miss, yes, miss,
or
and
the
the plastic
plastic
knife
knife.
couldn't like, yes, miss,
Right.
it couldn't scratch the
Right.
granite, miss.
Right. So the granite is so tough, so hard, none of the items could scratch it. All right, so that is correct. The granite is the hardest of the 4. All right, and now we're at the very last question. Question 15, item type verbal reasoning, category logical deduction, targeted skills, analyze and draw conclusions. Jer, Legende, question 15.
Miss, I don't see question 15. I see 2 students.
Sorry, read the table for me.
Okay. 2 students collected information on the health practices of 4 adults. The table shows what they found out. Adult. PQRS. P. Exercises regularly. No. Eat a balanced diet. Eat a balanced diet. No. Smokes regularly. Smokes regularly. Yes. Cleans teeth regularly. No. Q. Exercises regularly. Yes. Eat a balanced diet. Yes. Smokes regularly. No. Cleans teeth regularly. No. R. Exercises regularly. Yes. Eat a balanced diet. Yes. Smokes regularly. No. Cleans teeth regularly.
Yes. S. Exercises regularly? Yes. Eat a balanced diet? No. Smokes regularly? Yes. Cleans teeth regularly? No. Yes. Two
All
students.
right. Go ahead.
Two
Just read
students.
it. Just read the caption and then we'll study the table.
Okay. Two students collected information on the health practices of four adults. The table shows what they found out.
All right. So let's just look at the table, each person study it a bit. So it's four adults, P, Q, R, and S, and they were asked whether they exercise regularly, eat a balanced diet, smoke regularly, and clean their teeth. All right. So which is the one negative thing there?
Miss, what you mean?
Which of the four categories would you say is a negative thing? If you ticked it, it would be a negative thing.
Miss smokes regularly, miss.
Right, smokes regularly. So anybody who have a tick on the smokes regularly, that can't be good for them, right? And if you have an X under clean teeth regularly, that can't be good for you, right? So let's look at the question. Jerry, you back now? John, question 15, please. Read the bubble first.
Okay, miss. Use the information given in the question, make conclusions. Use the information given in the question, make conclusions. Question 15. Which two adults are most likely to have healthy hearts? Question 15. Which two adults are most likely to have healthy hearts? A. Adult P, B. Adult Q, C. Adult R, D. Adult S. A. Adult P, B. Adult Q, C. Adult R, D. Adult S.
Which one would most likely have healthy hearts? Which
Oh,
two?
okay,
Which
miss.
two?
Um, Miss Adult R, miss.
Which two? So the options.
Adults are and
So for this question, we are to choose two of the options, okay?
yes, miss.
And you will have some PEP questions like that. It's not just
Q and
one
R.
they want you to choose, but two. So you have to look out for those. So let's look back.
Okay.
Which two you said, John?
Miss I did say adult R, miss, at first, but mm,
But what?
in miss adults R and Q, miss. Miss because
Or
the exercise regularly, miss, and the eat a balanced diet.
okay. And they don't smoke. That's important too,
Yes, miss.
right? So we can rule out P and S because they smoke.
Yes.
All right. So even though Q doesn't brush teeth regularly, that's not as bad as smoking, is it?
Yes, miss. Because smoking can lead to lung cancer, miss.
Yes, Miss.
Right. Not brushing your teeth regularly can also affect your heart in the long run. However, um,
But Miss, however,
it's
if you
not
smoke,
as
then your lungs will get
right.
damaged.
It's not as detrimental as smoking,
Smoking.
right? Okay, so it's P and Q, and that's question 15. So we're at the end. We're at the end of it for
Miss,
tonight.
look,
We've gone
Miss,
over
guess what?
what?
Question 15 and the time is 8:15. It's like fifteen
Right.
fifteen.
So we've gone over by 15 minutes. All right, so let's look at the answers. Madison had said Q and R. Jonathan, Q and R. So remember, for this question, is not just a one answer. You have to look for those questions that are, some questions are open-ended and they want you to write in the answer. Some of them is not just one, they want you to choose two. You have to read carefully, as always, read carefully. All right, scholars, so tomorrow we'll do the other 15 from Student Camp Booklet 3. We'll do from 16 to 30. As always, thank you for your company and your participation. Those in the chats, thank you for your answers as well, and your comments, some of them very humorous. All right, so no countdowns tonight. We're
Yes, Miss.
just going
Miss,
to...
there was a countdown. Miss, there was a countdown to the start of the video, Miss.
Miss, the
Miss,
first
I
time we
was saying,
started, I saw somebody count down. Yes.
yes, Miss. About 7 days and some minutes. Miss those.
For some reason, your voices are breaking up and I can't make
Miss,
it or take what you say.
Miss, can
Miss,
you hear me now?
One at a time. John, go
okay,
ahead.
okay, Miss. Miss at 7:05, Miss. Actually typed 7 days and 4 hours and 53 minutes.
I saw it, but I ignored it because I know some of the scholars don't like the countdown.
Yes, Miss.
Legende, what were you saying?
I was saying at the first when you just started,
Same thing?
yes, when you just started the post, how long? Miss, I saw it and I was like,
Yes,
I'm not even going to
I
pay
did see
attention
it.
to it.
I did see it, but I know some scholars don't want to think about a countdown. They just want to do their revision and gain confidence, even more confidence, and go in with a clear head, right? So that's what we're aiming for. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, scholars.
Bye, Miss.
All right. So we're at the end, and I'm going to remind you of the schedule, even though we're not following this schedule for the next week or so, but here's the schedule for when we resume. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything. Make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So, stay tuned. Hello, scholars. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand.